It was almost as if it seemed like DDoS that they were really hoping for that Demented Shaman going into that series, and they didn't get it because of the blind ban phase. So this last game, though, it was interesting because not only was it not blind banned, but it wasn't even locked by DDoS. I mean, they just didn't really care to run him this game. It eventually got banned, the final ban, I believe it was, by Fnatic Raidcall. So even if they wanted to pick him up in the picking stage, they weren't able to, but he made it through all that, and so it goes to show you that DDoS, you know, they have been having some success with a hero like Demented Shaman lately, but by no means is that their only strategy, as we saw there in that first game. So yeah, that is an interesting note to bring up as well about that first game, what happened there.
One thing I wanted to say, too, about comparing Tempest and Ophelia, and this is why I think Ophelia is honestly one of the best heroes in the game, especially the best jungler in the game, is she works with any lineup. She works with any style of heroes.
Yeah.
Now, with Tempest, when you pick them like Fnatic did, you really have to pick a little bit stronger laning presence. Magebane doesn't have that strong laning presence. Engineer's just like meh, and then you look at Pharaoh, who they could potentially lane with as well. That's like meh. So if you had if you had something like, I don't know, like a Silhouette. I know it was banned. I'm just saying like Silhouette and I don't know, even like Glacius or Slither or something like that that has a little bit more laning presence for that Tempest to work off of. That would be so much better, and unfortunately, you know, they got Tempest. They didn't get Ophelia. I think Ophelia was the better pick, but that's why DDoS first picked him out of the lock pool phase. So they obviously valued that a little bit higher. So we are actually in the game, though. So
that we are. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. Game number 2 is upon us. Fnatic Raidcall on the Legion side this time, of course. DDoS on the Hellborn side. Man, this is it. Again, Fnatic Raidcall, not only if they lose this game will they lose the series, but again, this will officially, once again, knock them out here of the group stages at Group D. So everything is literally on the line for them here as far as the DreamHoN Summer Championships go. $40,000 prize pool, a chance to come back to DreamHack winner with an invite of winning it all, a chance to defend for them. So yeah, wouldn't that be something? Now, obviously, it started here. We got Nymphora Jeremiah blind banned by the Legion team, and then Ophelia Dark Lady. But yeah, the lock on Parasite right off the bat from Fly.
All of this right now is fun and interesting to watch. This Nymphora Jeremiah, you know, when you talk about cheese, that is cheese. Nymphora Jeremiah, and that's banned by Fly. Now, Ophelia and Dark Lady rightfully banned by the Hellborn there. Again, they know the power of Ophelia, and even playing him last game, they know that in first position that Fnatic could very well be contenders to use that. And yeah, I'll get to those locks in just a second, but very interesting to see that Fnatic actually locking Parasite, a hero that we always see Fly ban, always.
Yeah.
So maybe they will run him now, and now, yeah, like you were reacting there, the Gemini and Legionnaire coming out, so some trollish locks coming out right now.
Now, Fnatic needs to be careful, because, you know, if they do lock two pretty solid heroes, and Andromeda, you know, not a horrible pickup by any means for DDoS. Now, again, that's not to say that Gemini and Legionnaire are bad pickups by any means, especially Legionnaire, but maybe it's not the most ideal of lineups. And as Fly was putting it there in the interview, too, you know, he made the point that he doesn't necessarily know if he's a huge fan of it. It seems to be this lock-picking mode is more about how can you troll the other team rather than pick very good yourself. And this is kind of a case of that. So, but with them having the first pick and then the 2 follow-up picks, if DDoS locks a hero like Amun-Ra here with the final lock, that is going to put Fnatic in a very tough spot, most likely, of their final pick. It's probably going to come down to Legionnaire, Gemini, or the Amun-Ra. Now, again, Legionnaire isn't a horrible pickup by any means, but it may not be the most ideal. So, very interesting by Fnatic there, but no, it is going to be a Tempest lock, actually, by DDoS, so they don't take advantage of that opportunity.
I think that actually Swindle could have done better with a more Trolla-style lock. Basically, what Fly did right there with that Andromeda and Luna lock is gave them DDoS's heroes. Now, he can easily first pick like a Luna Andro over Parasite in that lock, or even a Tempest. But he's going to end up with, you know, something that he might end up with something that just doesn't fit that well in the lineup. There's a lot of junglers right there actually in that lineup too. Or when I say lineup, I mean lock pool. But yeah, very interesting. The Armadon now banned by Fly. Tundra coming out from Swindle. No surprise from each side there. Armadon is just very annoying to deal with, but I don't really think he was the problem last game. I think it was just the overall strategy coming out from DDoS. Bubbles banned by Fnatic. It's a hero we don't really see banned a lot, but at the same time, it's a hero that we see picked a lot, and I think deserves ban because it is so strong. Pebbles is still on the board, as we have not seen him banned yet, I think, in this series. Maybe we have.
We saw it the first game, I believe.
Okay, he was banned then. Yeah. But he is on the board there, so is Torture. Now Mirax is banned from Swindle Melons. So a couple of good things, or good heroes still on the board. Draconis, Magebane, Silhouette, Glacier. I mean, there's a ton of great things down the board.
Yeah, and, you know, Torture, as you said, Swindelmones did a very good job with Alaska, and DDoS loves to run Torture, so I wonder if Fnatic is going to value that. They do go with the Fade ban, so now will DDoS perhaps ban Magebane here, trying once again to, but they did do obviously very good against the last game, so maybe not too worried about the Magebane pickup ultimately from Fnatic Great Call. But this is a tough decision because, again, as you put it, Pebbles is still on the board. You see Fly, in fact, already right-clicking that Pebbles right there. So it's, you know, DDoS has a decision. Do they ban that Magebane? Do they ban Pebbles? Do they ban just a Silhouette even? But it is going to be Pebbles with the final ban. So now Fnatic Great Call, a first-pick Magebane wouldn't surprise me here, to say the least, but we'll see how they ultimately start.
Yeah, like I said, with Magebane, though, the laning presence isn't that strong unless you got a really, really good support. And they're going to first pick Soulstealer. Can't say I didn't see that coming, but at the same time, I can't say I'm that surprised because I've been saying it for a long time. I think Soulstealer is just freaking awesome. He's actually very, very strong mid. He does get roamed on pretty hard and is very, very susceptible to ganks. But he comes back and bounces back very, very easily with those demon hands. Does so much damage, and yeah, I really, really like Soulstealer. I actually am surprised that more teams don't run him. There was that change to his ultimate, but I think in the end, I mean, I haven't done all the crafting as far as like you know, the math goes with the damage of his ultimate. But from what I've heard, it's actually an improvement in the end. I don't know for sure. I haven't really tested it out, but regardless, the hero was damn good, and yeah, you know, it is kind of interesting to see him first picked, but I'm not surprised to see him picked at all.
Yeah, that definitely is. But DDoS, their response is actually Engineer and Pharaoh. Now, you did mention Soulstealer is a hero that's very susceptible to ganks, of course. Now, granted, he can recover effectively, but Engineer and Pharaoh, two very powerful heroes at roaming around and setting up effective ganks. So that could be a little bit of a problem for Soulstealer, even, you could suggest. But yeah, some strong picks there to start off from DDoS, and this time they do get their Engineer, so I'm sure Z-Freak is perhaps happy. Although he is right-clicking that Legionnaire, and I know that he would love to play that as well, but I don't know if that's in the mind of Swindelmones and for the DDoS team over here, but we'll see now the last two picks coming out from Fnatic Great Call. Again, we'll see. Could you still see them picking up a Magebane here, or is it just not worth it with a hero like Soulstealer already?
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. And I think they're going to pick up a Magnus or a Behemoth here. Probably Behemoth. They'd like to run Behemoth a lot. Although Hani is
Hani's
gone.
not here, yeah.
And he is pretty much their go-to Behemoth player. But that's not to say that they can't have other players play it. I've seen, well, I think I've seen No Tail play it a bit, but I'm not quite sure. No, I have seen him play it. So, generally, though, I like, wow, they're going to go with a Predator. They actually, they scrimmed and went with the Predator when they scrimmed as well. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Predator. I mean, he can carry very hard. He's actually a good pick there against that Pharaoh.
And against Engineer, wouldn't you think, too? Because
yeah,
his W being pretty effective against it. So
now they do go with a Magnus, which I like. It synergizes well with Soulstealer, but their lanes are going to be awkward, and I'll tell you why. They're going to probably pick a Luna out of this, I would assume. Now, assuming they do that and DDoS goes, or they'll probably go Andromeda Tempest is my guess. So they'll be left with a Parasite. So they're going to have like a solo Predator, basically. Yeah. A solo Predator and a solo Soulstealer. Maybe like a tri-lane Magnus, a Luna, Parasite top. That's what I'm thinking is going to come out from Fnatic, which could work. But and a Moon Queen pickup. Okay, now I'm just freaking baffled.
What is going on? I mean,
that hero's bad.
You're sitting here trying to make reason at the Soulstealer first pick, and then it goes to Predator, and it's like, okay, I mean, it has its positives, but it's like, is that the best pick? And it's like, oh, we're just going to troll you even harder. Go Moon Queen out of nowhere. And as you put it, I mean, her laning presence is just, it's awful. It's awful compared to so many other heroes in the game because of that short range. Granted, she does have the Moonbeam, but it's so much mana to use that Moonbeam every single time. So you have to have a good amount of regen. But you predicted it. I mean, the Luna first pick here, so we'll see if perhaps a Tempest Andromeda to follow. And I will say Andromeda with the Moon Queen, the aura stacking could be pretty beneficial here for a Hellborn team. But man, Moon Queen, that's the carry of choice apparently here for DDoS.
If they were smart, they would actually pick Andromeda Parasite here, because I think they should know. Oh, they do go with the Tempest, but I'll tell you why. If you really look at the Legion side lineup, they can't do that much with a Tempest jungle over a Parasite jungle, because they kind of have to go man up long lane with a Magnus Luna. If they don't, they're going to end up, like, say if they had picked Tempest, if they were forced to pick Tempest here over Parasite, they'd have to go like a Magnus Luna Tempest bottom and like a Suicide Predator. They could also maybe man up and go Magnus to Luna with Tempest top, but I've said before that, and they do go with Legionnaire and Tempest, so there's going to be a long lane Legionnaire.
Long lane Legionnaire?
Or sorry, long lane Tempest. Yeah.
What?
Long lane
That'd
Tempest.
be something.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think that they should have given them, left them the Tempest pick there. But they do go with Parasite. Even having Andromeda on the board, like I said, that Parasite's actually going to fit very well with Magnus and Luna. We might even see a solo mid Predator and a solo bottom Soul Stealer. No, we'll see a solo bottom Predator. And it's being played by Fly, actually.
So, interesting. Yeah, I would think, Trixie and Era would be possible candidates for that. Trixie, of course, knowing to play that role as well. And I do recall him even playing Predator, even in this tournament, I think, even for some reason. But no, it is going to be Fly, as you put it. So that leaves actually Noto on the Bitch Ward support. Not too often we see that, but he has run it before. Skyzo, of course, going to be on Magnus. Of course, he's here playing today in place of Hani, who unfortunately is on vacation at the whole Gamescom event. So, but this game, man, I mean, we got a game 2 here. Obviously, we're stressing not only the series, but this is it for Fnatic Raid Call. If they lose here, it's official. I mean, they're not moving on here in Group D. DDoS, they can afford a loss, but it would put a very awkward situation, as they would not only need to win next week, but could very likely finish in a 3-way tie because of that. So they of course want to win here to be in a much more comfortable spot. I love the fact that they still end up getting Legionnaire, which is, by the way, decapitated Legionnaire, again, one of the coolest skins out there nowadays, I think, being played by Z-Freak. But oh, look at this! Luna's running into absolute death. She's gonna get mummy walled, and there's nothing the Legion team can do to stop this. We see a bloodlust kill coming out. And it's almost some frustration coming out from you, Trouf, and I can see why. I mean, she just blindly ran in there, and it's just like, well, you're dead.
What are you thinking? Like, is this the first game of Han that you played? Do you think that teams are not going to go there to protect it? I mean, come on, that's just silly.
Yeah.
To have that happen. They weren't scouting with the courier in front of him. Magnus was quite some ways away. He didn't have any other support from... That's just horrible play right there, honestly. I'm sorry, but that should not have happened at all.
Yeah, that was, especially with the first game and how that game started too. It was the same exact thing from both sides. We met in the Hellborn jungle, and Fnatic played it very passive, and eventually DDoS was able to overwhelm them and eventually get the wards. But they didn't get a kill out of it, but they were able to get the wards down. But here, yeah, it's like I'm just gonna go ahead and run right in. And not do too much, and ultimately get bloodlusted, and not even get a ward of sight down as a result of that. So you see she's kind of trying to sneak around. She does end up placing one as, the middle lane actually. Parasite in a little bit of trouble right here. He's going to run into Feral Legionnaire. Should be fine in the end, but he's going to take a lot of damage here. And he's going to be forced to use some early regen, which he doesn't even have, actually. Of course, he's going to have to take over a group and use the R to kind of regen from that, but... yeah, very sloppy start almost here from Fnatic Raid Call coming out, so really unfortunate that that's happening. Now, the lanes are fully happening, and I believe you predicted this from Fnatic Raid Call. Of course, we got a Luna Magnus up here. Granted, Parasite did end up going to Legion Jungle, but Moon Queen might not have the greatest time up here because of this, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Parasite definitely needs to stay up here, give some harass onto the Legionnaire as well as this Moon Queen here. Now, Magnus is going to be able to do just fine. Or Magnus Saloon in this lane is going to be able to do just fine until the Legionnaire starts ganking. Now, they do have vision up here, so they're pretty much going to see him every single time he comes up. So that's really, really good in that sense. They could actually, if they're really, really good with that vision, Parasite can constantly gank mid and bottom. Or mid and bottom. And hopefully that's what he does if he gets some good creeps. He does have a Cadman. He could potentially maybe do something here in the mid, but it's hard on a Pharaoh because Pharaoh's quite tanky.
I do find these player roles very awkward. We do see Catman Champion is going to charge in as you're putting it, but Pharaoh more than quick enough to react to that being played by Swinamelons. But yeah, I mean, you would think it would be Trixie on Predator and Fly on Parasite. Fly is a fantastic Parasite, despite not necessarily liking the hero, but, so I do find that very interesting, but I guess it's just a case of this game specifically, just they felt more comfortable this way, so... very interesting they went with that. Now, granted, Trixie does say level 3 right there. He's going to take over another Minotaur, actually. And he is in the Hellborn jungle now, which, can cause some issues for Legionnaire, actually. And slow his down farm, perhaps, a little bit, as Parasite is known to do. In fact, he's going to even run into Engineer right here, get him to fall back. But Moon Queen, obviously, spotting that Minotaur, will need to be careful. Magnus was charging in. They were going for a kill, but Moon Queen's able to react in time and going to be fine. But Legionnaire just going back to farming. Will it necessarily hinder his farm that much? Maybe not in the end, but it is going to still suck having to deal with the Parasite.
Yeah, definitely. Era's Soul Stealer versus Pharaoh mid is going to be kind of an interesting matchup to watch. Actually, aggression coming out of Magnus up top. The turret to follow, is it going to take? No, it's not going to be enough damage. So he'll probably health pot and then come back to the lane. One thing I wanted to comment that I thought was really, really interesting about this lane is they have no set farmer up here. I watched, and I believe that Magnus upgraded the career, and that Aluna bought the wards. Like, there's no set farmer on this lane right here.
Yeah.
Magnus is 6-2 CS. Aluna is kind of, I guess Aluna is the support in that sense, but Magnus doesn't really have like carry lane style items.
He doesn't have that hatchet that we sometimes see on a Magnus.
Yeah, exactly. So and yeah, I don't know for sure, but I want to say he bought the chicken or upgraded the chicken, but I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah. Well, it's that is a very good point to bring up. When you see the Minotaur charging in, but again, Moon Queen very quick to react to that. I mean, she does have boots, already 370 movement speed, so now that is a benefit perhaps for a decent movement speed early on. But still, the field gank attempt coming out. Now Magnus is going to stun in Aluna with the power to fall. There's a leech coming out. Is going to be enough block right here. Moon Queen, one more attack, maybe. No, barely survives. Oh, but she's getting creep blocked and she'll die in the end. Oh, Relo's got to be so pissed off. That was really unfortunate. However, in the middle lane, Pharaoh jumps out of Soul Stealer. Legionnaire assisting as well with a charge and taunt and gets the kill. Bottom lane, Predator was applying pressure to Tempest, but Tempest will survive. So all three lanes have action. Ends up being a Bloodlust kill, or not Bloodlust even actually, but kill for the Legion team, but still a good counter kill at least in the middle lane onto Era.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Good gank there by Z-Freak by Legionnaire. Even just not even going around the mid lane, just going straight up down the middle with that charge and manning up with the taunt. I didn't really watch bottom, but whatever Fly did to get Tempest to walk all the way back there, especially when all these creeps are here to farm for Fly, was huge. I mean, he's going to farm all these creeps. Tempest nowhere near. He has to go, regen completely. So yeah, again, whatever Fly did really worked because he's going to have a good time here.
Look at Trixie up here just having fun with Legionnaire. That's what I'm talking about. He's going to eventually take over the Skeleton King would be my guess. He's going to even kill the creeps. Yeah, he takes over the Skeleton King, and he's going to continue harassing, and he gets the other creep go. And Legionnaire's like, are you kidding me? But uh-oh, Trixie may have overstayed your welcome. Nice done right there. On to Pharaoh. In comes the power throw even, and actually Legionnaire maybe a little bit of trouble. Puts that taunt on, and Parasite will fall. So Z-Freak has the last laugh right there. No Tail's also going to get picked off as Engineer joins the party, and Pharaoh will pick up a double tap. Oh, you got to love the harassment and everything, as funny as it was, but that ends up being a double tap for Swindlemelons all of a sudden. That was a great turnaround right there from DDOS.
Yeah, I mean, there should have been maybe word from mid or the thought that, I mean, when you're aggressive like that in that jungle, you got to be always watching mid and see what they're doing. Now, it's very hard because by the time you're like, oh, he's gone, well, he has a haste rune. I'm pretty much screwed. So that's just kind of unfortunate that he had a haste rune. There was a really huge rune in that full exchange there. But oh my God, Legionnaire's getting really low here. Actually, the power snipe gets him, and No Tail gets him with a very very long range power throw there. So, oof, that was big.
Yeah, middle lane in the meantime, though. Soul Stealer gets jumped by Pharaoh, and you see the Wrath of the Pharaoh even using the face. The Hellfire activated, which I'm guessing is being maxed out. Yes, it is. He hits level 4 with it right there even, and it gets the kill on a Soul Stealer. So, Swindlemelons, man, he's doing a very good job here in the middle lane. 5-0-0. All 5 kills for this team have been in his favor. And it's shown with the GPM, 420 gold per minute. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Now, I will say, is Pharaoh the scariest hero as a result of a crazy early farm? Maybe not, but still, any hero with early farm, this much especially, can still be very, very dangerous no matter the role even. But
yeah, honestly, as Soul Stealer against Pharaoh, it's already scary.
Yeah.
And having that gank on him from the Legionnaire really, really hurt him. It's really hard.
Oh, top lane Magma's actually in a little bit of trouble. Legionnaire charging. He's going to taunt, so the Steam Bath won't do anything. He'll eventually fall. You see the support coming in from Invisible Luna and a Parasite with a Vulture Lord, but obviously not going to be able to turn that around. So again, just great pressure being applied by Hellborn team. And Z-Freak, he's playing aggressive here early on. Already 3 assists, actually, for his team. So not just sitting in the jungle and farming, as we saw even the other day. I believe it was Uncle Chicken just yesterday even for Quab. So
yeah, definitely a different pace of a Legionnaire game. Yeah, this is not looking good for Fnatic. I really think it started with that Bloodlust kill, honestly. It kind of snowballs things in an unfavorable way for Fnatic. Give some goal. I'm going to try to scroll up and see who actually got it. Oh, it was Swindle.
Yeah.
But regardless, Relo got some assist gold there at the bottom and was able to probably free up the lane a little bit. And having those boots on him early definitely helps his position. Moon Queen should not be able to have that easy of a lane against this kind of pseudo tri-lane top. But then again, at the same time, we saw Trixie go into the Legion jungle very, very early, like right at the very beginning. And I don't think that's his place. Like now he's maybe kind of roaming up here and doing something in the Hellborn jungle, but it's just too late. He needs to be up there to begin with.
Yeah.
So It's really, really unfortunate how this has panned out for Fnatic.
No, what about Predator, though? I mean, he is kind of doing his quiet thing down here, as you talked about earlier. He got even Tempest to send him all the way back. Right now, Tempest even doing some Ancients, even. That's interesting. Are those triple stack? No, it looks like double stack, actually. No, those are no, double. Okay, yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes with those dragons. But anyways, he's doing some Ancients right here, trying to get at least some kills. Parasite once again going to get picked off right here. We're going to see it decapitate. There we go, coming out from Lightning, a.k.a. Z-Freak. Aluna was there, but at what cost? He gets caught right there by the Wrath of the Pharaoh, and Aluna's, despite using the Deja Vu, the trick. Oh my god, not going to happen, though. The auto attack from Engineer, and will end up falling. So, very good attempt right there, but nonetheless, another couple of kills happening in favor of DDoS. Now, an 8-2 hero code advantage, and it just seems like this Parasite, he's doing more harm than good. I mean, is it almost like he just should be in the Legion jungle at this point? Because it's not really happening here in the Hellborn jungle.
I don't know. I think he's just a little lost, honestly. I don't know if he has a plan. He's just kind of roaming around. I don't know, honestly. And whatever they're doing, it's not working. I mean, Aluna and him just keep dying over and over. Luna's died 3 times, Parasite twice. Parasite's not a hero that we typically see die a lot to, because he has that good escape mechanism by jumping into a beefy creep and using its abilities and getting the extra movement speed from it. So, yeah, Trixie, I don't know, man. I think that you're right. The best bet is to go into his own jungle. His farm actually isn't that bad. He has Striders now, and he is level 6, so hopefully we can see him use that ultimate, because they need to do something here. Now, you mentioned Pred. He is pretty much free farming here in the bottom lane, doing a really good job. Like I said, he must have just owned this Tempest there in the bottom so hard. Actually, the Moon Queen finale ultimate comes out. The Keg stun to hit on Magmus. Great stun there from Aluna, and actually Magmus might live. The uphill miss attack happens. The rocket fails, but the stun coming out from Magmus. The hook, though, will kill Magmus there to finally finish him off. Yeah. So again, No Tail. I mean, they do get a kill on Fntc, but hey, it's a support engineer who's 1-1-5. Like, yeah, it's not really that big of a deal. So yeah, this is just not looking good, and I gotta feel some frustration, especially if I'm like Soul Stealer. Yeah. Had a lot of pressure on him mid from that Legionnaire, and he's already now has to lane against a level 9 Pharaoh, who just can basically dive him anytime he wants. And there's nothing more annoying than trying to channel some Demon Hands or ultimates on a Pharaoh that has a Hellfire on you. Yeah. I don't know if you play it. It's just you just sit
the
there
animation. It's like a behemoth fit. It's like, yeah, there's any animation like that's a little bit longer than most. It's you can't get it off. It's just, and again, it's just frustrating almost. So I like what Give Violet's been doing up here. He's literally been doing the Ancients for the last like 3 minutes, and now finally Z-Freak comes in and helps to clean them off. But you know, again, he wasn't really having the greatest time there at the bottom lane against this Predator. So, you know, maybe that was a smart decision. But Predator has been free fine. I keep going back to this. Now, his GPM isn't necessarily reflecting that, I feel, though. We're 10.5 minutes in. He's still only sitting at 280 gold per minute, 48 creep kills. I mean, it's pretty much up there at the top. I mean, Soul Show is actually slightly ahead, but it seems like it could almost be even a little bit better because of how what seems like at least to have been just free farm again. So, but he is getting free farm, but he's in a little bit of trouble right here. In comes a charge from Legionnaire. The support's coming in. This was completely unexpected. Can he get that W off at least? He's going to activate the ultimate before the Stonehide, and he's going to end up dropping, as he's even caught a Tempest ultimate as well as a Luna. I'm not too sure about that. He didn't even use the Stonehide right there, as maybe it wouldn't have mattered in the end, but still. But anyways, they're going to now push this tower, so sloppy play again from Fnatic coming out.
It's just, it looks like they're just playing like they don't care, honestly. This is not the same team. Strategy and picks aside, their picks are fine. I love their strategy. I love their picks. But they're just playing, honestly, just very, very badly, and it's very unfortunate. It's not very fun to watch either, because you know you want to watch them do well. You want to watch a good game. Yeah. But the way that the pace of this game, as well as the pace of last game, it's just looking like yet another stomp. And Soul Steel getting caught out right here. Nothing you can do now with that. All the levels are up on the Hellborn team. With the Pharaoh, he's level 10, almost level 11. Moon Queen's going to be a good farm. Fly does get a kill on the Moon Queen, though, so that's a sign of life there. But oh, they got to come back. Yeah, they got to come back from this huge deficit now.
Maybe their hope is that they are going up against the Moon Queen. So
I mean, well, here's the thing: Moon Queen is an extremely strong late game hero, like very, very late. If you die, if someone dies in a team fight, you will see those glaives hit every building, and the building will just your base will die in a matter of seconds. But the problem with Moon Queen is she's such a weak laner in the beginning. And in that early mid game and even kind of late games, a lot of heroes just kill her before she can even do anything. Yeah. You really have to wait till you get like a Shrunken Head and a Geometry Span to be effective with her, which takes a long time. Yeah. But if she actually gets up to that point, then she's like really, really strong. It's just she usually never does get up to that point.
Bottom lane, Soul Stealer was playing very passive, and a good thing because you see Legionnaire and Tempest both down here ready to set up a gank. But port does come in actually from Magnus, so they're going to maybe try to turn this around. Tempest is farming the Minotaur right here. Uh-oh, get violator. You may be in a little bit of trouble. I think he's actually going to be collapsed on here if they eventually find him. Magnus actually going to the lane, though, so never mind. They can't actually see him. Soul Stealer is farming it up, but now he's going to be charged by a Legionnaire. Are we going to see that Decapitate very quickly come out? Is it going to be enough for the kill? No, Soul Stealer able to get away. In comes the Torment Solo. That's just set up to Decapitate right there, and down he goes. You see Magnus coming in, but just too late by the time he gets there. Pharaoh coming in as well. Magnus had a lot of trouble. Now, Predator is coming from behind. Tempest doesn't have an ultimate, so can they turn this? Parasite is also here. You see Legionnaire charging on him. Magnus. In comes a face tag, but not nearly in time. Predator trying to do enough damage. He does activate his ultimate right there and trying to get that minus armor as well as a speed buff going out. Legionnaire is taking some good damage, but a nice mummy wall coming out. However, the lead from Predator will follow up on a Legionnaire, and one more auto attack should do it. In fact, there we go. Predator now going on to Swindle Melons, and especially with this Carnivorous, this could be pretty big here for Predator. He's just sitting on Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's actually in a lot of trouble now. In comes Parasite. Doesn't have enough mana for Leech. Not going to matter, though. In comes the lead from Predator. Should be able to finish off with one more auto attack. There we go right there. Tempest jumps in, though. Double tap, picked up a course for a fly. Parasite barely able to live, and now Tempest is going to fall to fly right there. A hat trick coming out for Parasite, and oh my god, that was big there for the Legion team actually. However, Engineer comes in to clean up onto a Luna, so that's unfortunate. Actually, Parasite is still in a little bit of trouble. Oh, he's going to die. Fntc right there with a double tap. He comes in with a turret and kind of lasts it off a little bit. So, unfortunate ending, but still, you did have a hat trick on your Predator.
Yeah, you got a hat trick on a Predator, but I just got to shout out to Fntc, man. He's awesome. One of my favorite players, but really well done right there. Actually, I don't even know, to be honest, what Trixie had any business doing down there. He had mana literally for nothing.
Yeah.
He was a walking, just a walking
Auto
free
attacker,
kill. Yeah. And he has Striders, so it's not like he has, phase boots or anything, and he can attack walk with it. So, yeah, really no business staying there at all. Now picks up his Ring of Sorcery at 14 minutes. This is usually by the time you see a Codex around, Ring of Sorcery and Codex. So that's a testament to show you just how horrible his farm is, to be honest. But yeah, like you said, hat trick on Predator. That is a sign of life. Fly played that very, very well. Watched him the whole time, and just the way he was clicking, his movement was very, very excellent. Well played by him. Now Tempest did not have his ultimate up. He does have it up now, and he's going for that early Astrolabe, so he doesn't have that initiation factor. I feel like they could actually do really well with the blink on Tempest as well as that hook, to synergize that with that hook from Pharaoh. But he is going to go for that more pushing style, and we'll see if it pays off. I think it'll be okay. But
on that note, of course, Legionnaire as well, having a portal key on him is also another great follow-up. In fact, speaking of Legionnaire, he's going to charge it. Oh, the taunt does not go off in time. Great stun from Magnus actually coming out. But Aluna still in a little bit of trouble. Going to use the Emerald Lightning, Deja Vu, and it looks like she is going to be fine as the team support is there. Now, a couple of ports were used. A level 11 Pharaoh, so is going to try to hook somebody right here. They need to be careful about that. You see Torment still the bottom lane as Pharaoh he attempted, but he's not able to connect right there, and Aluna will be fine. Now, Moon Queen has been doing her own thing as all that action was happening at the bottom lane. She was quietly doing her own thing at the top side. You see right here is going to take a Demon Hand from Soul Stealer, get her to fall back. She does go the Whispering Helm route. I know you were talking about a build earlier, Geometer's Bane, whatnot, but going the Whispering Helm, are you fine with her going that here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I should have mentioned that too. That's pretty much as core as you can get on her. It's very, very good for farming the jungle, stacking the Ancients with your creep that you take over. And actually, she has a Minotaur right here ready to stack. I think it actually missed the last one. So yeah, she didn't stack that. That's unfortunate, but yeah, no, that's very standard. And now I'm looking at Soulster. I feel bad. I mean, he's had such a rough game. The game is rough when you have to buy Soul Scream rings.
Yeah.
On your Soul Stealer. He's 0-4 and 0 right now. Really can't do anything. He's got to go for a first item Shrunken Head. I feel like.
Magnus in the middle, and he went for the tower, and it's going to be... Oh, the Tempest ultimate completely missing, though. Are they going to lose this tower as well? No, they're going to deny it at least as Parasite jumped in, but in comes Predator, but Predator is by himself. However, Luna is here, but the Engineer ultimate going to be used. He leaps on Engineer, trying to pick up a kill with that Stone Hide. He will get one, but he's also going to fall as a result. So very sloppy fight again coming out. Now, Magnus, he does have a Lava Surge. He's going to Lava Surge, try to get away. He's going to die right here. He's going to use another Demon Hand coming out. But I was going to say Tormented Soul should finish him off. And the Mommy Wall now catching Soul Stealer again. It's so sloppy right here. Soul Stealer will get picked off. This is not Fnatic raid call. You talked about this earlier. This really is not. They just keep going in one by one, it seems like. the coordination, just simply put, is not there. Yes, DDoS is doing great, but you could just tell Fnatic Raid Call, they're not playing as a team, it seems like.
Yeah, they're really not. I mean, they're a completely different team. They're just playing like they don't really want it. And that's unfortunate. I mean, Fly's doing a good job this game. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we got 265, 050, 043, 142. Just very unfortunate.
By the way, SoulStealer has actually bought a major totem, so
he's going to the
Energizer, apparently, and it's just like, I don't know if that's not the ultimate sign of I just don't really care. I don't know what is. I mean, Energize again. I appreciate the fact that I think it has some potential to be a useful item, but really in this game, does that make the most sense? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it really does. So
don't think movement speed is all that good against the mummy walls and the taunt from Legionnaire and the stuns from Tempest. So.
Speaking of taunt from Legionnaire, he's got his portal key now. In comes Feral. The mummy walls go up. You see Parasite. He's just trying to somehow get away with a face hug even. But
I'm pretty sure he face hugged the Hellcat. I'm pretty sure.
It did look like that.
I don't even know if you can, but I think it happened.
It did look like that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I thought the same thing too. And actually, Magmist is going to be fine, but a couple more picks happening right there. And DDoS is all of a sudden in a prime spot now to start pulling away with this game even. So.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, well, I said too, it just seems like they just don't care, unfortunately. And their strategy was good, like I said. The picks were great. I love their draft. I love the heroes that they used. But they just died too much. They got picked off too much in the early. And then actually, initiation comes on to Magmus. I don't know what he's thinking right there, just sitting there, kind of steam bath. But he will stun out, steam bath again, and try to live there. Looking in the back, actually, Predator is kind of auto-attacking this Pharaoh here. The ultimate comes out from Engineer, but actually will do some damage. The Purge does still go through Stonehide. The ultimate comes out from Pharaoh, and as well as the Hellfire. The ultimate comes out from Moon Queen as well, and just cleaning up his Swindle Mounts. He's now got a serial killer. Era is 070. They're going to get this kill on Predator as well. One more auto attack, and he will go down for reload. So double tap going out for reload. Trixie does manage to get a kill on Fitzguts. He says no, and he will get away. Yes, he will. Nope. The charge or the taunt comes out from Z-Freak, as well as a stun from Tempest.
Even he will die.
Yeah, and even he will die. So this is pretty much looking like a.
I honestly think Fnatic's given up. I never thought I'd be saying that, but they've given up. I mean, it's just getting to a point of just really being ridiculous, honestly, and because this is not the Fnatic team that, as you said, this isn't the Fnatic team that we know and love. This is not how they got their success. It's just, you can feel, and we see right there, GG well played. I mean, it's going to be over. And I feel bad for two reasons saying it like this. Because, I see right there, Rage getting on Fitsuke, but because DDoS, they played this great themselves. So it's hard. I feel like we've been stressing so much on Fnatic's play that, I mean, people are DCing without even conceding. Yeah, that's just...
This is just sad.
That is sad.
Honestly, No Tail, I don't know what you're thinking. You were probably the weakest player this entire series, so having an attitude like that is not acceptable. It really isn't.
It's... Yeah,
by far the weakest player in this series, so don't bring an attitude like that because no one really wants to watch it.
Yeah, let's stress on the positives, though, again. Let's focus on DDoS because, we've given our take on Fnatic, and it's, it is what it is. They clearly just didn't really care that much, that series, frankly, but... DDoS, they did look very good. They really did. It was fun seeing the Moon Queen play. I mean, going with the ballsy pick there, but they made it work there in game number 2. Of course, being played by Relo. I believe it was actually for DDoS, so he did a very good job on that. It was fun seeing that hero. And Swindlemons, man, I mean, in the middle lane. You said it is a tough matchup for SoulStealer alone, but it was a mix of that, but also he was getting ganks left and right, playing very, very aggressive, and he definitely led his team to victory, you could say, as well. So
yeah, he played that really well. I mean, Swindle's a great Pharaoh player, and it's kind of funny. Relo was looking towards the making of a Nullstone.
Yeah.
Very interesting pickup right there. But, the one gank there from Legionnaire in the mid definitely set the tone for the middle lane. After that, Swindle was able to gain on levels past SoulStealer. And really the only way for SoulStealer to win is to kind of kill Pharaoh before he hits level 6. Once Pharaoh hits level 6, you're pretty much lost the lane.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do. And I believe Lightning or Z-Freak was able to gank at level 4. So by that time, Swindle had the levels, he had the advantage, and he didn't really need any more help after that. So just set the tone for the rest of the game. So really well played there by Z-Freak. And Fitz got lots of good warding. Swindle, great job. Just the whole team. and they were playing well as a team.
Yeah.
So that's why they won.
Yeah, and on this note as well, I meant to bring this up in the pregame as well, but with Fnatic Recall, again, they're obviously the 4-time DreamHack champions, and for good reason. They've had I think you can easily argue that the best team HON has ever seen, especially with results like that. But this event, they're obviously with not advancing on now in these group stages, so of course won't qualify from this one, but it does seem like there are going to be more qualifiers down the line eventually. It doesn't seem like, though, that they are even going to participate in those again with how they're just acting lately, and they've made the point. I mean, it's pretty much they're almost done with HON to an extent. So we're going to see a new champion at DreamHack no matter what, because again, they're not getting that automatic invite. They did have to qualify like everyone else, but it seems like at least that isn't going to happen. So that is also another positive twist you can take off of that. It's unfortunate that maybe they're not going to be able to defend that in an extent, but we are absolutely going to see another champion at DreamHack, and that is opening the doors for all these great teams to have a chance. And we keep stressing that, how awesome our competitive scene is right now. Really, so many teams can win it all. Not only in that event, but of course here in the DreamHack Summer Championship. So, but DDoS now, they are one step closer, and this means that going into their next match against Trademark Esports, it's pretty much going to come down to the winner of that will very likely be moving on with Clan Milk at this point. Again, iLight is still in it technically. I feel bad, leaving them out, because actually, on that note, of course there were other matches that were set to take place today at least. I'm going to go ahead and double check something real quickly.
Sure.
It looks like, did they actually play? That was today. It looks like that TDM, now Trademark Esports was set to play iLight today, as you can see on your screen. Again, iLight 3-2 record going into that. But it looks like they did actually play, I believe. No, that isn't them. So maybe they haven't played yet. I'm not exactly sure on that, unfortunately. So I don't have results on that. But they were expected to play today. So if iLight somehow manages to come through with a victory there, then wouldn't that be something? But, pending on a complete upset there, Trademark Esports versus DDoS, the winner of that should very likely be moving on with Clan Milk again. So that's that's how we're ending the group stages. It happens to be the very final day before going into the quarterfinals. So that's going to be a hell of a way to end it, Trev.
That's going to be a very fun matchup. And specifically, I mean, we talked about how excited we were to cast this game. Unfortunately, I knew there would be a possibility of a series looking like this, just because of the lack of practice from Fnatic and lots of practice from DDoS. But when we have when we cast DDoS versus TDM, I think we're going to see two teams that really want it, have really been practicing, and really been theory crafting and practicing some strategies coming into the matchup. So I feel like those are going to be actually some way more exciting games.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the quarterfinals, that as we've, even from the beginning of the group, I mean, when we made the format of this event, that I knew that the quarterfinals, of course, being the top 8 teams after the group stage is only the top 2 from each group of 8 teams in total in those groups, move on. So you're going to have an amazing quarterfinal event, and it is shaping up to be that way. Like we said, from Group C, I believe so far is absolutely the only one where we know the 2 teams in Vitriolic and TT Esports. But Group A is still up in the air going into the last match. You got Orange, Pikachu, Lion all fighting for a spot there, and even Q Squad 357. So actually 4 teams fighting for those top 2 spots.
Yep.
For Group B, you have Complexity, and the Complexity is moving on no matter what. But Team It's Gosu and Saishi are actually going to be competing it out to see how things finish off there. They actually haven't even played it according to the schedule, so that's actually very interesting still. And then, of course, Group D, as we've already ran through the scenarios there, by no means yet decided. I mean, other than Clan Milk, very likely moving on, but TDM versus DDoS, what a way to end the group stages, because pretty much the winner of that, again, they'll be moving on to the group stages with likely Clan Milk. So it really has been an awesome event, guys, and it's still more to come. That's the greatest thing about it. Again, we now have one more cycle of matches to play, of course, from each group. That's going to continue with tomorrow on that note. As far as tomorrow's match that is planned here, which is, of course, going to be Sunday, from Group A, I believe we were looking to cover Q Squad 613 versus Pikachu, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Pikachu versus Q Squad 613, as you can see on your screen. The following matchup was going to be Complexity versus Saishi, because technically, depending on how the Saishi Team It's Gosu series goes, that could have some impact there actually in Group B. Then Group C now originally was going to be Cats versus TT Esports. However, I believe that ended up getting forfeited in favor of TT Esports. Cats is going to take a forfeit there. So Instead, I believe the plan is to cast Vitriolic versus Quap. We're going to see Quap again there, so looking forward to that. And then, as we've been once again mentioning, on Wednesday, that's the big finish there.
Yep.
DDOS versus Trademark Esports in what should be such and that you can guarantee, no matter what. I mean, that will be an epic series. As you said, even unlike today, maybe a little bit of us was coming in, wondering how Fnatic was going to do, and obviously not too well in the end. But and then we do have a break on Thursday, but then Friday we're going to be coming back at you with a bracket breakdown show where we're going to discuss all 4 matchups there, starting with the quarterfinals, and also, obviously we'll let you know what they are, and perhaps even give our predictions here and there. But it's a double elimination event, quarterfinals, that officially starts on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, actually. So so this coming Friday even, and it's going to be a blast. So
yeah, and like you said, I mean, we end off the group series with DDoS versus TDM. But then at the same time, I feel like the real exciting matches are going to happen after the group phases. I'm really excited for that. That's when we're going to see some of the top teams from each group play each other, and those are probably going to be the closest of matches, the best matches. That's where we're probably going to see some very interesting strategies. And you say this all the time, but there really is a lot on the line. 20K for first, that's a ton. That really is. It's a lot of money, and that's just for the qualifier. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
It is, guys. And on that note, it is a little bit anticlimactic here as far as the finish goes, unfortunately. But it not to take anything away from DDoS, because again, they win the series 2-0. They did look very good, and it now sets up that ultimate showdown match with the very final match of the group stages against them against Trademark Esports set for Wednesday, which is going to be a hell of a finish there. As far as that's concerned, guys, I believe that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a post-game interview here, but again, I'm sure going into the next matchup, we'll definitely get interviews, not only reaction from this game, but going to that game, and it is going to be a blast. But it does continue tomorrow, guys, here Sunday with our QSQ 613 versus Pikachu. That's at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, at 2100 Central European Time. Going to continue to be a blast here, guys. So with that said, I'm Breaking CPK. Joining me is Terrell from Medora, as always. Killer Warren, shout out to him as well in the production booth, always doing great work every single day. And you guys at home, thanks for tuning in once again. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.